Now, some of you might be familiar with pictures like e-bikes abandoned, dumped or parked unsafely. TfL has announced a new policy today saying it will consider taking action against companies that allow bikes to be parked unsafely. Disability groups are among those calling for more to be done. Chris Legg has more.
An increasingly common sight across the capital, e-bikes strewn on the streets. TfL says it will now consider taking action against operators that allow bikes to be improperly parked on its land and roads.
We'll be using our existing powers, and that could take the form of warning notices or penalty notices, or it could even mean prosecution. But what we really want to do is work with these operators to make sure that it doesn't happen.
The biggest two operators in the capital are US company Lime and London-based Forest. If you hire one of these, TfL's own e-bikes, then you have to ensure it is properly docked at the end of the journey, or else you'll continue to be charged. But hire one from a private operator and that isn't the case. And that has led to some notorious hotspots arising throughout the capital. TfL says it's on such hotspots that it will concentrate its initial efforts. Disability groups are among those who have long campaigned for greater regulation.
We certainly have a lot of blind and partially sighted people getting in touch with RNIB to talk about the difficulties that e-bikes and e-scooters left on pavements have on them. So these are not just a bit of a nuisance while they're being ridden, but also when they're being abandoned on pavements and in the way of pedestrians.
Lime, which is the UK's biggest operator, told us,
"This year we have invested £1 million in a parking infrastructure fund, and we employ over 250 people on London streets who help remove or tidy bikes."
Forest, which has 15,000 e-bikes across the capital, said,
"We introduced virtual parking bays long before they were mandated and have always incentivised responsible parking among our users."
While training its sites on the operators, TfL is also urging cyclists to park responsibly.
People do need to take this seriously themselves, so I would encourage every e-bikes user to think about where they park it, think about others. If you're pushing a pushchair or you're with one of your elderly parents or with someone who's visually impaired, what would the parking of that bike mean to them, and act responsibly.
TfL plans to deliver at least 800 parking spaces by next summer along red routes. Chris Legg, BBC London.